What's up, guys? It's Jake Hills. Now, earlier today, or tonight actually, uh, I decided to go ahead and play my first ranked seasons game for this season. I've done everything I can to my team for now, so I figured why not. Hopefully, I'll get one of my new pitchers, and I can test them out and see how they perform in an online game. So I went ahead and jumped into a game. Uh, as you can see, I did pick up that 97 overall All-Star Phil Niekro. I got him a couple of days ago. This is the first game I'm playing online with him. Kind of weird. This is the first game I do end up getting my ace in the first game, which I've hardly got my ace at all this year. But the guy we're playing against has Justin Upton, Charlie Blackmon, Giancarlo Stanton, Paul Goldschmidt, Robinson Cano, me. That's my name. That's my created player. That's not his. That's kind of weird. Justin Turner, Francisco Lindor, and then Greinke on the hill. We've got McCutchen, Jackson, Ramirez, Martinez, Holiday, Headley, Murphy, Cepeda, and then Niekro. So let's just go ahead and jump right into the game. Uh, See how it goes. Now, I'm in SHAREfactory because I forgot to turn the volume down for the announcers, and the announcers volume plus me talking through the game at the same time, you couldn't really hear it. So I've got the volume turned down a little bit. If you hear a voice every now and then, it's probably me. I'm going to go ahead and record over this. It's alright. It just means I'm going to sit here through the whole game and redo this over. But this is the first game I played since that new patch. And I've got to say, in the beginning, that little slowdown thing fucked with me bad. Like, I was missing everything just because of how slow it was. And I'm used to throwing it up there fast. And that was messing with me bad. But we get him to strike out the first batter with Niekro, using Niekro to strike out. Now, it does take me a few innings to get used to that, but that was a strike. Blue just missed it. It does take me a few innings to get used to Niekro. I figured it would. But we miss on that screwball. Throw a high knuckleball. That's called a ball. Now, I knew I would probably have a lot more balls called than I would strikes using a knuckleball. Or, second batter I walked him, and of course he takes off and steals on the first pitch. I wasn't really expecting it, so I hit the button way too damn early. He takes that knuckleball that's low and outside. And then he hits one to Ramirez, who throws him out at first and keeps the runner from going to third. So now Paul Goldschmidt's up. There's a runner at second with 2 outs. He takes the curve. It's a little bit too low. I throw a fastball. He doesn't swing at it. It's 86 miles per hour. And then he comes up and he hits one out into the outfield. He stops his runner at third and then changes his mind about going to second. So he goes back to first there. So he's got his first hit on a knuckleball that he was just laid on that was hit 108 miles per hour. So he's got good timing on that one, but he fouls it off. The sinker's called a strike. And then on that, he tips it out there. Niekro picks it up, takes his time to throw him out at first to retire the side. So the top of the first, he gets one hit and a walk. Now, I thought about cutting out my at-bats from this video, but I guess I'll just do the whole game. It would be shorter if I cut it out. It's okay though. But like always, I started off hitting a little dribbler to third. It's pretty much like an every game thing. Until I get my timing, I always do that. Now, this dude done a really damn good job the entire game of taking pitches. Uh, he done really good taking pitches. It was crazy. He had some things go his way, some didn't. Yeah, some did go his way that I thought shouldn't. But you know, that's the game. It's gonna happen. I think his record was 6-2. Mine was 0-0. This might be, you know, somebody trying to make it to the World Series division. He's got a decent team. He's a pretty good player, actually. The game was played straight all the way up until the ninth inning, which I guess you'll find out what happened. But Hanley hits a rocket out into the gap and gets a double. So now V-Mart's up. There's a runner at second with 2 outs. And then he flips one out into the outfield, and Hanley comes around from second to score and give us the first run of the game. So now Matt Holliday's up. 2 outs, a runner at first. And there you go. Martinez is sitting at second now. Holliday flips one out to the outfield. V-Mart comes around from second, and Holliday pulls into second with a double. So we got 2 runs now, and 2 outs and a runner at second again. So now Chase Headley's up. Headley hits one out into the outfield. Holliday comes around from second to score, and we take a 3-0 lead. So with 2 outs, we was able to get 3 runs. Now here's Murphy. I thought I hit that pretty well. It is hit right to the wall. But 4 hits, 3 runs. It's alright. And here's his creative player, the Hog Rider. Not Justin Kelly, because that's me. Look at that pass ball. That's a good knuckleball. He didn't swing at that screwball. I'm having a little bit of trouble wondering why I would ever throw a screwball. Sometimes it breaks, you know, towards a righty, and then sometimes it looks like it's just a curveball. But that knuckleball right there was filthy. It looked like it was going to hit him and then just cut over. It was still a ball, but it was just filthy. And then there's one right down the middle he didn't even swing at, which that happened quite a few times in this game. Pitches in the zone that shouldn't have been there, and he just didn't swing. So I thought his plan from the beginning was probably just to take as many pitches as he could to try to get me to throw a lot to get him out of the game quicker, or, you know, just to take as many as he can. I don't know. I wouldn't take that many, especially if they're in the zone. But he's early on that knuckleball. It rolls out to the pitcher. He gets thrown out at first. He lays off that curve. He's a pretty good one. I try to throw another screwball right here. Yeah, he lays off that one. I throw a 4-seamer in there just to get the count back. He didn't swing. But see what I'm talking about? Like, he doesn't swing. He leaves himself with like 1 strike to work with. And then, of course, he comes up, he gets jammed. He's just late on it, and he gets a base hit out of it. So now he's got Grinky up, 2 outs and a runner at first. And that one was that knuckleball was filthy. He lays off the sinker. This dude is literally taking every fucking thing. The screwball's called a strike. And then the high knuckleball, he fouls it off. I thought I could probably get him. I thought he might be going. I didn't get him. And then he just hits a blooper. Murphy runs it down to retire the side. So he's got 2 hits through 2 innings. I mean, it's pretty good. I'm just having trouble hitting spots with Niekro. And again, I start this inning off just like the last. So now Phil Niekro is up. I thought he might just throw something right down the middle. But Niekro muscles one out there. He throws it to first to try to throw him out, but the first baseman's not covering. So Niekro gets a base hit, and I was late on that. So that's happened 2 times now. And in the game, I felt like there was some kind of delay, like everything was in slow motion. Like the players were moving really slow towards the ball, just like that. I mean, his player like moved really slow and stopped for a second and then moved again. Niekro goes back to second for some reason. I knew that wasn't getting caught. It goes over the wall for a ground ball double, and Niekro comes in to score. So we got a 4-0 lead now. His catcher does a good job blocking that, so I keep the runner at second. I'll lay off that changeup. I've been trying to break myself from moving the PCI too much. You know, over moving it. So every now and then, when I go to swing, I won't even move the PCI. And you're not really going to get many hits doing that. You know, it happens. I'm still working on trying not to do that. I thought I got a hold of that one. It was a curveball left in the zone. I had good timing on it, but it ends the inning. So now we're back up at the top of his lineup. He fouls off the knuckleball. He takes the curve. He was doing really good at taking pitches. That knuckleball was filthy. I didn't get the call. I didn't get that call either. They were both strikes. I knew that would happen a lot with a knuckleballer. I just didn't expect it to be that much. And it would get me behind in counts. Like, I knew that would happen. So Blackman's up. He takes the knuckleball for a strike. He takes another step off, which he does that all the time. He done it all the time through this game. And then he just another little jammed hit for a blue single. Dude, that's literally all he's had. And he was late on that one. So he's had 3 hits now, and he's been late on all of them. He fouls that one off. He takes that. I thought that was a really good one. Like, this was one of the worst people to face using a knuckleballer. Just because you couldn't get him to swing at shit that was out of the zone. throw a fastball and it's a ball. So he's got another full count. He fouls a knuckleball off. He fouls a sinker. He fouls another one. And then that beautiful one, he fouled that off. And then he hits one to Cepeda, who turns it for a double play. And I thought he was trying to come home right there. Like, I wasn't going to see that. Everybody I play does that. Like, do they really think they can get away with it? Like, everybody does it. We get the call on that sinker. Get the curve for a strike. He didn't even swing at that. And then that beautiful knuckler. I very rarely got him to swing at something out of the zone. That was one of the few occasions where he did. It broke a lot. So we're at the bottom of the third now. V-Mart's up. I took the inside slider. It just missed the zone. And then V-Mart comes up, hits against the shift, and gets a double. I try to do that every time I'm with V-Mart. Just hit against the shift. If people won't take the shift off, then that's what I try to do. So I try to be late or just late. I try to be just late, but I was late on that one. And then Holiday comes up there and cranks a 2-run home run to give us a 6-0 lead here in the bottom of the third. Headley hits into the shift and is thrown out at first. So here's Daniel Murphy. I thought he was probably getting a little irritated right here. Just because the way everything was going so far. I know if it would have been flipped, I probably would have. But I probably still wouldn't be using that pitcher. Not this early. So Murphy comes up, gets a double. But see what I'm talking about with the slow motion? Like the way he just bent down to pick that up. It was so slow. So 1 out, a runner at second. Cepeda's up. And like I said, I thought he probably was getting a little pissed off right here. Cepeda hits one out into the outfield. Now we've got runners at the corners with 1 out. And Niekro's up. So I think he paused it right here to get somebody up in his pen, which I thought was smart because I didn't think he'd leave him in that long. Hell, I thought he'd probably already have him out. So we get jammed. It doesn't get caught. We foul that one off. And he couldn't get that by him. Yeah, it was a good effort. So now McCutcheon's up. Runners on the corners and 2 outs. And trying to take pitches at the same time. And, you know, get used to not moving the PCI as much as I had been. That was a good pitch to swing out, but I laid off of it. So we got a 3-1 count right here. I didn't even move the PCI right there. I'm starting to do that more often now. And then again, I hit a dribbler to the third baseman, get thrown out at first, and that ends the third. So we got 10 hits, 6 runs through 3, which is pretty good. So now Cano's up. He fouls off the high knuckleball. I try to throw a screwball right here. He lays off that. He's good at taking pitches. That's a good thing to be able to do in this game. There's a knuckleball that ended up really low. He fouls off that sinker. That was left in his zone. He was early on it. And then he does get a hold of one, but it's hit right to McCutcheon for the first out. He's just late on that one. But, I mean, he's starting to find it. It's another one that was just late. Oh, fuck. A fastball right down the middle. There's a fastball right down the middle. I wanted to see if I could do that. But I didn't want to throw it right down the damn middle, but I did. I ended up doing it. Just working off the knuckleball, sneak a fastball by just to see if I could. And then, just like always, this is a base hit every time. Just like Domingo Ayala says, every time. Every time. That's a base hit. I thought I could get him right there since he took a step, but I couldn't. I slide step, he ends up swinging the top. Thought I could get him there too, but I didn't. Now he's took a step off every time he gets a runner on base. There's one of the few knuckleballs he swung at that was out of the zone, but that one was a pretty good one too. And we still couldn't get him out. I eventually just said screw it. I mean, we struck him out. He got the runner to second. Eventually it was like, you know, screw it. If he's going to steal, he's going to steal. And then he comes up, first pitch, hits it to Niekro, who throws him out at first to retire the side. So he's got 4 hits now through 4 innings. I laid off that slider that was damn near my ankles. Late on that fastball. That's what I get for not paying attention. I should have swung at that, but like I said, I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to do 2 things at once. Laid off that high inside fastball. Just missed that. Just missed it. Like usual, like I've been trying to break myself from moving the PCI down too far, and that's what I done right there. Is I moved it down too far. I just missed it. So now Hanley's back up. I think he got a double his first time up. It's so hard to hit pitches with him. It really is. Wait on that fastball. I mean, there's a lot of pitchers in this game where it's hard to hit pitches with him. And he hits a hard one right to Lindor, who throws him out at first. I mean, it's pretty close play, but he wasn't going to beat that out. So now V-Mart's up. There's 2 outs. We take the first 2 pitches to get a 2-0 count. Late off that one. It was a high changeup. I power swung. I just did not move the PCI again. Just late on that, or late, fouled it off. Just late on that one, fouled that one off too. And then we get that, but it's right to Turner and we get thrown out at first. So we didn't really do anything that half inning. Now we're at the top of the fifth. Niekro's threw 69 pitches. I thought he was going to take Greinke out, and he does. He brings in Carlos Santana to pinch hit. That knuckleball was left way too damn high. I thought I hit it well, but he laid off that curve that was still in his zone, just clipped the bottom of it. He lays off the sinker. It's like I said, he was leaving himself with only like one strike to really do anything. And then we get him swinging on a four-seamer that's up out of the zone and away, so he strikes out. And then I throw a screwball, leave it up in the zone, and Justin Upton takes it yard. So his first run of the game is a just late home run on a screwball. Everything had been, you know, just late. He turns up, comes up, oh my gosh. He hits a ball to Murphy, the very next batter. Stanton's up. He flips one, and he gets him at first. But the rest of them have been good timing. So we got 5 hits now through 5 innings, and he's got 1 run. He brings in Tyler Clippard, which I really do like this Tyler Clippard. It's a really solid reliever. It really is. I liked his card last year. I liked using it. I mean, I like using this one. I've used him a few times in online games so far. I swung at that like an idiot. And it's an out. So now here comes Chase Headley. I swing at that like an idiot. Headley hits one pretty hard, but oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's an error, and we get Headley to second. That occasionally happens. That can't get out of here with good timing, but just like he can. So now Murphy's back up. We got a runner at second with 1 out. Murph hits one out to the outfield. Headley comes in from second, and Murphy pulls into second with a double. I've been thinking about getting rid of Murphy and just using my creative player, but... So here's Cepeda with 1 out and a runner at second again. I accidentally hit L2 right there. I did not mean to. So I had to take him back. He probably thought I was really trying to steal, but I really wasn't. And there we go again. I'm going to have to stop swinging 3-0 because I didn't move the PCI again. 3-0. And I do that. A fastball right down the middle. And the PCI moves on. And then Niekro comes up and, you know, flies out. So, we got 11 hits, 7 runs. He's got 5 hits, 1 run. Nothing pretty much happens until the 8th inning. I might as well just go ahead and let it play out. Screw it. Get him swinging at that knuckler inside. He misses. He's off on that curve that's left up there. And he hits it right to Cepeda. I didn't really start getting a feel for Niekro until around this point in time in the game. And Murphy throws him out at first. Here comes this creative player. I tried not to throw the same pitches in the same locations. He swings and misses at that knuckleball. Like, this knuckleball is really beautiful. It's fun to watch it. Now, you know, during the game, you're not really paying attention. You're looking at the meter to see where you landed, and you don't get to see the full pitch. But doing it this way, like, I can see the full thing, and it kind of gives me more of a look at that. Murphy dives and prevents the single, and we retire the side. But I mean, doing it like this, I can see more of the pitch, watch it from start to finish, and see just how much it does break and move. It gives, you know, just a little bit more of a look on it. You know, other than me missing spots, Niekro's been really good so far. And these just late hits and stuff like that, I mean, it's going to happen. But I uppercut one with McCutcheon for the first out. Jackson comes up. Jackson is 0 for 3, which is rare. He throws a pitch with Clippard and he gets hurt. Now, I didn't go in to look and see who he has, but he brings in Christian Betancourt, which is kind of weird. I don't know who else he had, but he brings him in. And then I uppercut another one. It goes foul. Turner goes over to catch it. And now Ramirez is back up. He's 1 for 2. I think. Or was it? Hell, I didn't even look. Hanley hits a pretty good fly ball, but it's caught. So we didn't do anything that inning really either. So now we're at the top of the 7th. He's got Justin Turner up. I paused it for a second because I was trying to do two things at once. I couldn't. I didn't want to make him wait.
Justin Turner, 0 for 2 on his line thus far. Justin Turner, first pitch on its way.
That was a pretty good knuckleball, but it was still a ball inside.
The windup and the 1-0 pitch. 2-0 now.
He laid off that four-seamer that just missed the zone.
Ready with the 2-0 pitch.
And then that sinker, like I'm telling you, he left himself vulnerable by not swinging at pitches like that.
Squared that one up just a little.
It's almost like he was just looking for that knuckleball and just taking everything else.
Now a swing and a chopper foul right at home plate.
I mean, that might be what he was doing. I don't know.
Ready on 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here it comes.
That was a pretty good one. It just floated out of the zone. He fouls that off. He was late.
Out of play. He'll try it again. 3-2.
And then he just pops it straight up. And of course Turner wouldn't get out of the way.
He'll indeed make the play in foul territory
Motherfucker.
for the first out. So here's Francisco.
So we got one out. Lindor's up.
1 for 2 in the ball game.
Excuse me. Lindor hits a rocket to short. Hanley can't get it. So there's a base hit. And I think that was on the screwball. Yeah. There's his first one. First good hit of the game. I thought he might take Christian Betancourt out, but he doesn't. He actually takes a step with Lindor at first. So, and of course, I mean, he takes second right there every time. Like, he's been doing that. So, I mean, I just said fuck it and just let him do it. Somehow or another, he is able to put the bat on that. And it goes right down the line to Cepeda. Because that knuckleball was down and out of the zone. And then He comes up, he grounds out to Cepeda, and we retire the side. So he does get a hit. His first good timing hit,
Victor Martinez, 2 for 3 with a double on his line so far.
but that's all he got.
Changeup for a strike. Driven down the left field
V-Mark
line.
comes up,
Could stay fair.
gets a double
Will
against the
this make the
shift.
corner a fair ball?
Just like I said, if people don't take that shift off him, that's what I try to do.
He is into second with a double.
Just be just late on the timing and you know, have the PCI on it, and you can do that. Hit against the shift.
Run and a double.
Holiday comes up and rockets the first.
The right spot at the right time. One away. Here's Chase.
Now we got Headley.
Reached on an error and later scored his last time up. In there and it's 0-1. Now swinging.
I shouldn't have swung at that, but I did.
On to first and Headley's retired here, 2 away.
He was probably trying to get a double play right there.
Digging in and looking for more. Daniel
So here comes Murph.
broke a couple of doubles in 3 trips to this point.
Late off that damn slider.
Nowhere close and it's 1-0. Now a ball hit pretty well to the left, but this is going to wind
Late
up
on that.
foul.
Man, I think he thought he was going to get another breaking ball right there. He's a little bit late on that.
And then I do this.
Nice pitch.
He runs right by the ball, still able to pick it up and then flip it to the first baseman. So there's the end of the 7th. We're at the top of the 8th now. And he's got Charlie Blackman up.
He'll have the first crack at it here.
Nikro's
Start inning number
throwing. This is his 97th pitch of the game, so I'm starting to worry if I can get through the whole thing. And then of course,
in this one.
and
Man aboard now.
here comes the ground balls to center field.
Nobody out in the inning.
So there's his second good hit. Now he does take a step off,
Ball last time up.
like he always does, and I end up throwing him out, even though the first baseman isn't even covering the bag. Like I knew he was going to steal there, so I threw him out. Getting the swing and miss at that one.
To a knuckleball.
Just because I got the lead here, and they're not fucking holding first, man, does not mean that you... Here comes the 100th pitch of the game.
Next pitch here will be number 100 through 7 1/3.
Well, if he gets through this
Jam him right there, and he flies out.
people start wondering
Pops out.
the muscle and the strength that they do the rest of the game.
So now Goldie's up. He lays off that knuckleball.
Watch his ball 1. 1-0 pitch on the way.
It looked like a really good knuckleball. He just laid off it.
On the ground.
And then he comes up, he hits it to Headley, gets thrown out at first.
Digging in to try to
So I go into the pen since Nikro's threw that much. And I put Britton and Osuna up just in case I can't get out of the 9th inning. Because I was trying to do a complete game with him. I think that'll be alright. But here we go, are with Cepeda up.
swing and a flare.
Cepeda flies out
Upton moving to his
to
left.
begin the inning,
Pulls it in for the first out of the inning.
or this side.
Digging in, Phil Niekro.
I didn't even have time to really pinch hit at all. He already threw a pitch. But I wasn't going to pinch hit anyways.
First strike. Swing and a liner, but foul.
So we got an 0-2 count on Niekro. He throws a slider inside. I laid off of that.
Here he comes on a ball and 2 strikes.
Here comes a four-seamer inside. I laid off.
Inside corner. Set. Here's the 2-2.
A changeup out and away. And then a high fastball. That's called a ball. So we come back from an 0-2 count to get the walk. Now McCutcheon's up with a runner at first.
The other way out toward right field.
McCutcheon gets, you know, he gets a little bit out there, but it doesn't go anywhere. It's caught.
Hurry back to first as he'll think
So Jackson's up. He's 0 for 4, which is probably never happened the entire time I've used him.
he flew out in his last at bat.
And we got Niekro at first.
Hit well down the left field line, but back.
So he hits that one pretty hard, but it's foul. You know, I don't get just late hits. I actually got to freaking be good.
Swing and a drive sent
And then Jackson comes up and hits a 2-run home run to give us a 9-1 lead in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs. Hanley ends the inning by grounding out to Lindor. So we're going into the top of the 9th here. Niekro has threw 102 pitches, and that's when this starts. This game had been, he'd played a straight fair-up game up until this point. And that's when he started doing the douchey shit because he was going to lose.
That's a crybaby move, man.
And, like, that's the biggest crybaby move in this game. Like, I'm going to lose, let me be a dick.
That really is a fucking baby move.
I can't stand people that do this. Like, if you're getting beat, just take your fucking loss. There's no point in being a dick like that. Just because you're losing bad, by the way, but
Decent person to play. And now this.
what are you going to do? I mean, people, they're
Time I play again.
crybabies. He fouls off everything.
Well, that's 3 foul balls in a row. He's
Of course, he takes a step off and then takes a step back. He'd been doing that too
Back over. Like, he's doing everything.
while he was doing the whole bunt shit. And then here comes
And of course, that
another one right up the middle, and McCutcheon cannot throw it to third base to throw him out.
of course that had to get through.
I mean, right towards the end of the game, all these little shit down, you know, barely hit through to the outfield right through the middle. That's when that happens. It didn't happen through the entire damn game, just towards the end. It's like the game was trying, and then this. So he grounds out. The run does come in. He's got a runner at third with 1 out. This is the 114th pitch. He's starting to run out of energy here. I don't want to pitch with him if he's out of energy. And then another one. It goes right by Niekro. Barely hit out into the outfield to center field. Like, this is pretty much an every game thing. If I have a big
That
lead,
really is ridiculous. It happens so
towards the
much.
end of the game, that happens.
Doesn't matter how
Every time.
how bad
Like,
they
it
play.
doesn't matter what I do.
End of the game,
Where I put the ball,
that
it's
happens.
just a ground ball
All those fucking
to center field.
and then
And there's another one. He takes his runner back to second.
I can't.
I went ahead and put Osuna in. Like, Niekro had done enough. He'd done well enough, you know.
That was a first pitch fastball. He just
He was doing the same shit again.
fastball was.
He would take a step off and then go back, take a step off and go back. I mean, he done that. He fouls off the slurve.
It doesn't matter what I do. Every game is like this.
The two-seamer misses. And then he hits a pretty deep fly ball. I thought he might actually test this, but he doesn't. He stays at second. So now Charlie Blackman's up. He lays off the fastball outside and away. He misses on the slurve. That's in the ground, but he doesn't advance.
Runners may have thought about it, but they'll stay put, and the count moves to 2-1. He's set, and the 2-1 pitch.
He takes that high inside fastball for a strike.
Now, as they're down to their final strike tonight.
And then he just pops up, fouls that off. Headley goes over to catch it to end the game. So it was a pretty good game up until that last inning. Like, I swear, it's every game that happens. Like towards the end, everything is a ground ball to center field,
I don't.
like weekly hit.
It's fucking.
I don't know if that's like the game compensating or what, but that's just what happens. It doesn't happen
That why?
throughout the game. It's all at the
Why
end.
wouldn't it happen through the other 8 innings?
So the first game with Niekro, we get through 8 1/3.
How many hits did he have in the fucking season?
The guy had like I think
Okay, one.
three or four good hits. He had 4 hits in the ninth, and that's when I took him out.
Four.
So I mean, you really have to
So he had 4 hits.
get used to Niekro. If it's your first time using him, it takes a while to get used to him, to figure out where you need to put the ball, all that stuff. But I mean, he's good. That knuckleball is amazing. It really is. But for the first game of this ranked season, I started off at 550. We got a plus 49 on that to go to 599. He was at 637 and he lost 37, so he's at 600. It was pretty good. I was impressed with Niekro, and just doing this and watching him, like I really do like the knuckleball. I'm just gonna have to take more time getting used to using him, and so I don't leave as many in the zone as I did, and I don't miss as many as I did. Like that was, I guess it was a pretty good first game for him. It was the first full game, but yeah, I mean, if a knuckleballer intrigues you, I'd give him a shot, but you've got to give yourself a chance to learn how to use him. Pretty much. I mean, you could tell I'm not really that experienced with him myself, so I was missing a lot of crap. And hopefully, you don't get into a game like this dude where they take every fucking thing and you have to throw it in the zone. But alright, guys. You all have a great night. Alright, see you.